Today we are working on dehydrating our onions and garlic and combining them for the next step in our nettle cuppa soup recipe. The first of the spring planted onions and garlic are now ready to harvest, and these are grown from a mixture of commercially prepared sets and supermarket bought cloves. And depending on where they were planted, some of these have done really well and some of these are still very small. We then peel and dice the onions and garlic, ready so that they can go into the dehydrator. You want to cut these as finely as possible while still making sure that they're not going to fall through the cracks of your dehydrator trays. Then simply lay these out on your dehydrator trays and cook at 45 degrees for about 24 hours. Because the garlic is quite oily, you want to make sure that these have definitely dried all the way through before continuing. As I don't have an electric grinder, I decided to try chopping these first in the food processor and then grinding them smaller using the pestle and mortar. But as you'll see from this video, that was quite a lot of effort, and I would highly recommend investing in an electric grinder such as a coffee grinder or a spice grinder. The onion was actually pretty easy to powder using just the food processor, but garlic, it turns out, when dehydrated, is actually very tough and very hard. So it was not very straightforward to do this using the electric food processor and the manual pestle and mortar. If you were eagle-eyed just then, you will have noticed that I added about a tablespoon's worth of salt and probably about half a tablespoon's worth of ground black pepper to the pestle and mortar first, and added that to my onion and garlic powder, which I'm going to add to the blend. A byproduct of doing it like this was that I ended up with onion and garlic granules, which I can always later chuck in an electric grinder when I finally invest in one, or I can use these in soups and stews and things that will soak them and help them to soften. I then add the onion, garlic, salt and pepper powdered to our previously dehydrated and powdered stinging nettle base and give those a good mix up. And I'm then adding 1.5 heaped teaspoons of the cuppa soup to this tiny little Tupperware, which is intended for salad dressings usually. And we're going to test out this current ratio of ingredients to see if we've got the balance right and we're happy with the flavour. But we also need to calculate the correct ratio of cuppa soup mix to boiling water for a mug. If you would like to learn more about how to make your own convenience food from foraged and homegrown ingredients, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys.